We here in this beautiful court, Ball Don't Stop podcast, episode 300-something, with the man that touched the pinnacle of the NBA, but more than anything, a guy that is still in love with the game. I just watched you work out. Isaiah Thomas, welcome, brother.
Appreciate you.
It's been due.
You already know. We've been talking about this for a while.
Yo, look, we all know what that was. The whole basketball world knows your rise, how you reached the pinnacle of the league at one point. We all know the trajectory, the injuries, the adversity you've gone through. Right now, I want to focus on today, 2022, still in love with the game, still working your ass off, still as disciplined as ever. Where are you at right now mentally? I see where you're at physically, but let us know.
Mentally, I'm the best I've been, even when, like you said, even when I reached the pinnacle. Like, I think, my trials and tribulations, the adversity I've been through the last, 4 or 5 years has made me who I am today, not just as a basketball player, but as a person. I think it's made me a better person. It's made my mental just on a level that it hasn't been on in my life. Like, I'm really good right now. I think that's what's making everything, what it is. And it's only getting sharper. It's only getting smarter and just prepared. My mental's prepared for whatever it is coming next.
And I can see that because there's a lot of guys in your position that would have gave up, that would have walked away. You've made your millions. You've been an all-star, all-NBA. You've been an MVP candidate. You've done it all. You've lived a basketball dream, But I see you right now locked in, right? And that shit really inspires me. That defines what really Ball Don't Stop is. Because we know you've had to now work and grind your way back and claw, but you're doing it. You're embracing it and you love it. That's crazy. Take me through that.
I think it's just the love of it. Like, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like I'm really in the gym grinding every day. Like, it's the love of it. This is what I've been doing since I was a kid. So fast forward to now, I'm not injured no more. I'm not in pain no more. So that love is even stronger. So I'm in here 2 times a day. I'm in here hooping at LA Fitness, in here hooping with the young high schoolers in the city.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the love of it. Knowing when I do get a call that my mind and my body is prepared to take advantage of whatever opportunity that is given to me. And I think overall the love of the game has controlled what has happened to me the last 4 or 5 years. Like, it's made me not look in the past, it made me look in the future. And I'm in a great place. Like I said, I'm in a great place mentally. I'm happy about the game. I have joy for the game again. And I'm just, obviously the frustrating part is sitting and waiting, right, knowing I can contribute to any situation. So that is tough, and I am human, so I have my days where it's harder than others, but I revert back to the gym every time, good or bad, at the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. The common denominator is reverting back to the gym and getting better. And that's just what I'm doing today. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna continue to do until I don't love the game anymore. And I know once the love goes away, that's when probably I should, call it quits. But I don't see that ending anytime soon.
That commitment to your craft is what made you who you were.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's engraved in you.
Yeah.
You talked about this new chapter of your career. We've seen you enter it, more of a vet. The league has changed. It's gone so young. All these young guards have come in. It's almost like we've gone through a cycle since Boston, And you've been on a situation now where it's like you've had to go through these 10 days. And that's tough. People don't understand. I'm not a fan of 10 days.
For sure.
I'm not a fan of 10 days because in today's game, you guys are measured by, you're quantified now. You guys are a number now. And they measure you on a 3-game increment, basically. And that's tricky, right? Because you could have, like you said, the Lakers game. The first game, you come out the gate, and like from an eye test standpoint, I'm just watching.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, it's not even the skill. We know you can make shots. We know, I'm looking at the movement. I'm looking at the first step. I'm looking at your mobility, and I'm looking at how strong you are going to the cup. And I'm seeing those things, and that's really, it's making me happy as a fan. and I'm like, okay, now he's just got to win the numbers game.
Yeah.
How tricky is that?
It's very tricky because, like you said, you have basically in the 10-day, you got 3 games. You got a few games if you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
So in a 10-day, usually they're signing you for an extra spot. You're probably not going to play. So those are tough situations to be in. And obviously, anybody who gets a 10-day is going to take it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always end well for the individual because you're not giving a real chance.
Right.
So like you said, that first game with the Lakers, everybody's not looking at the game like you are. Even the ones that are, their job is to scout, they're looking at the numbers. The numbers aren't always everything. As you know, the movement, my rhythm, like, am I doing the same things that I used to do? Am I getting to the same spots? Everybody isn't critiquing the game like that. As you said, the game has changed like this. It's all about numbers. Are most even watching the game at this point?
No.
We don't know, probably not. They're looking at the box score. They're looking at the highlights at the end of the night. Like, how can you critique a player that isn't the star, that isn't getting all the reps when you're just looking at that? Or we're looking just at the numbers. It makes no sense. So you're in somewhat of a lose-lose situation. Not saying 10 days are, like, if I got a 10-day right now, I'm taking it.
I mean, it worked for you too in Charlotte.
Exactly. Because they gave me a chance. And when you gave me a chance to get on the court and interact with teammates, you see, like, things got a little better. Not saying I was the reason why, but for a young team and a guy that they respect, first off, they respect me because I did it at the highest level. That's the difference between these young guys now. Like, when I came in, I showed respect because you were older than me and you've been in the league, and I want to be just who you are. I want to be 10 years in the league. Fast forward to now, and this isn't to harp on the young guys, but the young guys are just different now.
Yeah.
They're really not respecting you unless you've done it. Whether you've been a player, whether you've been a coach, player development. If you haven't done it, they're looking at you like.
You can see it.
And you see it. You see it how the game is played. Like, and all I say is make it make sense. You need a guy, not even saying like me. You just need a vet in there that can teach these young guys the right way to play, teach these young guys the right way to be a pro, because the young guys are just learning from young guys.
Yeah.
A young guy that come in at 19, his vet is 22.
That's crazy.
So if that 22-year-old is a bad representation of a vet, what you think the 19-year-old is gonna do?
It could change a guy's career.
Career. We're not talking a season. We're talking a career. Your trajectory of your career can go a totally different way because you don't have anybody to follow.
That's scary. That's scary because you guys came in you had to be in line with these older guys, right?
If you wasn't in line, you're not getting no chance.
Right.
That's just what it was.
It didn't matter how nice you were.
It
either.
doesn't matter. You can be the number 2, number 1 pick. You still had to fall in line of the respect of the older guys. Then, yeah, they see it. Oh, yeah, this your team.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I'm the number 1 pick, and I'm not even saying number 1 picks are doing this. I'm a top pick. Shit, this is my team.
Right.
I'm not coming in here and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the culture of today's game, which is just
product
in a
of the
negative
space
from AAU to the top. Because we're praising these guys without letting them hit adversity first. So when they do hit adversity, it's like, I never seen this before.
Yeah. They don't know how to maneuver and navigate through
No. And then they're gonna go to a young guy like, what do I do? The young guy's like, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Right. That's scary. That is scary. You have seen this shift happen. I keep coming back to like 2018, 17, 16. The league got really spaced out. It got really up and down. And it was the analytics influence for the most part, right? And now it's almost like I'm watching young guys in an AAU tournament.
That's all it is.
The showcase. How is that? And I've seen other vets, I've talked to other vets, and they're like, yo, it's just what it is now. We're just doing our part. How do you approach that? How do you see it? Is it frustrating? Are you a fan of it? How do you find yours within that now?
I mean, it's frustrating because it's not how the game's supposed to be played. But as a pro, you make adjustments. You have to. The game is bigger than just an individual. So if the game's changing, you got to adjust or you're going to be left behind. Obviously, I don't believe it's changing for the better. I don't think we're teaching anybody anything from the top level to the bottom. Because take a step back. I got kids. The younger guys are just watching what the NBA guys do.
Right.
Watching how it's played. Watching guys take step back, half court threes. And thinking that's, the way it's supposed to be played. There's a handful of guys that should do that and that can do that.
Right.
Everybody else just trying it. So it's bad for basketball.
Yeah. No trainer, if you go to any youth level, no one, and me as well, we're not teaching the game that way.
No.
It'd be a sin.
It's not how you teach the game.
No.
So then at one point throughout anybody's career, you're just forced to play that way. And if you
Why is that though? Why is this happening at just the NBA level? Is it to make the game more entertainment? Based for the casual fan?
I believe that has a part of it. Obviously it's entertainment. There's money involved.
But then there's people that say that this is just a product of guys being more skilled now. Guys being able to shoot better now.
No, because I think that's being forced on guys.
Right.
Obviously guys are going to be better, stronger, faster, going to be able to shoot better, going to be able to create better. Yeah. But that doesn't mean the game changes as much as it did.
Right.
You're forcing guys to shoot just threes and layups.
It's crazy.
The only team winning like that, and we can't even say the Warriors just shoot threes and layups.
They don't.
But they're made to shoot more threes than you and make more threes than you.
Right.
The NBA is a copycat league, so everybody tries to do that without stating that the Warriors have ball movement, body movement.
Right.
Every other team got no ball movement, no body movement, ISO at the top of the key.
That's true.
I remember Kobe saying that years ago. That's not winning basketball.
Not at all.
So when you're talking about winning championships, that style of play goes out the window.
Yeah.
And as you know that in the playoffs, quick.
Right away, they hit a wall.
Entertainment is for the regular season. Guys, we're scoring 150. Guys are getting 45 and 40 points in the third quarter. Is that real hoop?
See, I say it all the time. The regular season isn't real to me anymore.
It's not.
And it sounds disrespectful coming from me because I've never been an NBA pro.
But this come from me too. It's not. Obviously, I watch every night. I watch games every night. I'm a fan of the game. I love the NBA. I love the players. The level is going. Everybody's not playing the right way.
Yeah.
And that's bad for basketball.
I agree. And you've been in it now. You've had these 2 years, past 2 years, you've been a part of this. Is it crazy? Is this real? Like, obviously in Boston, the usage was so high, right? But looking back when you were at Phoenix, looking back when you were at Sacramento, you came into a whole different league. And basketball now is a different sport from what that was, the NBA basketball. Yeah. How is it as a player? Does it throw you off a little bit at times?
No, it doesn't throw you. I think it throws you off when you're sitting back watching it. Mm-hmm. But as you're playing, you're just out there playing. For me, especially analytically, I'm not thinking that way when I'm in the game. I'm thinking how to get an advantage for my team. But it is pushed on teams to play one way, to play a certain way, even if you don't have the players to play that way.
It's crazy.
So that's why it's tough. So you see high level of teams playing in one way, and then the lower level teams trying to play that way, and their players can't even play that way.
Right.
So what are we really teaching?
Yeah, it's like the computer programming is off. They don't know what they're doing, right?
Exactly.
That's
so
crazy.
Then, at the end of the day, you have a high-profile player come in and he doesn't meet your expectations. They put it on it's the player's fault.
Right.
As you know, it's situation.
Always.
It's situational opportunity.
And you're like the poster boy for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what you did coming in. And it's crazy because the role I think you should be in now is the role you came in as.
Same
Six
role.
Man, spark plug.
Come on.
And then, in Boston, it was almost like when you put up 29 a game, when you became All-Star, and it was not just 1 year, it was the year before that as well. Was that like a gift and a curse? Because, see, now there's a lot of guys in the league that I know 110% you're better than. There's a lot of guards in the league that they could pin any narrative or analytic. There's no matter, you beat them in the numbers game, you beat them in the analytics side of things, the heart, the skill, right? And, we all respect everyone, but they didn't go from averaging 29 to now having to be less usage, different role.
And have the same expectations of going for 30.
And when you
So just think of that. Like, obviously things changed, opportunity went down, I got hurt.
yeah,
But when I came back, every chance I got, the world expected me to get 30 when I was not in the same situation, not even close.
not even close.
So I'm really in a lose-lose. Because if I get you 12, it's like, he lost a step.
right. That's tough.
So it's like, what was my strength? My whole career is not backing down, not giving up. Any opportunity I got, took full advantage of it, wanted to be the best player ever. So now I'm in this situation, I got to retract those statements because it comes off wrong now.
Right.
He can't take a back seat. He can't be a vet presence. He can't be a spark plug off the bench. Why can't I?
Right.
Just because I still want to be the best? Just because if you ask me, do I want to start? I mean, yeah, I would love to start. I know my situation now. I know I'm not coming in starting.
Yeah.
I could definitely make a team better whether I play or not. And that's not being heard enough.
Right.
Who I was and what my strength was of not backing down, always in the gym, has backfired on me just a little bit in terms of how the game has changed. And like I said, will he take a back seat? Yes, I will. I'll take one right now.
You've done it.
I showed it.
Yeah.
I've showed it in every situation.
You've been
every
showing it since
situation I've been
Cleveland.
in.
Post Boston.
Yeah. Even before that, I wasn't the man.
Right.
And I played my role.
Always, yeah.
So it's that's the frustrating part for me.
See, this is something really deep. I always talk about the pure hooper, the guy that plays with that edge, that says, I'm the best player on this floor, no matter who's on the floor. And I've seen you have that mentality when a Kobe, a LeBron, or KD's on the floor. And I've seen you outshine some of the greatest players to ever play the game. And there's a certain type of dog that you got to have inside you to do that, right? I think that alpha dog mentality nowadays is intimidating to some. Fans, obviously, that haven't been in those lines, but also maybe even coaching staffs, maybe even, younger guys that are worried, like, oh, this guy, he's too, he's too much, he's too confident, where it's like you could change a locker room. What's your reaction to that?
It is intimidating. So when I got hurt and I took a step back, took myself out of my own shoes and tried to put myself in the GM shoes or somebody that's running a team shoes, for sure it's intimidating. It's intimidating for a coach. It's intimidating for an organization. It's intimidating for the player that's in front of me. Yeah. I understand that because of who I am and what I bring, the aura I bring,
right,
the love I get from the fans. That's unwanted pressure for my organization to have to play somebody they signed to be their last guy on the bench.
Wow.
So if you break it down like that, which a normal fan isn't breaking it down, that's some of the reason why I'm not on a team.
It's 100%.
You see, every time I got in the game, it was a standing ovation.
Everywhere.
So to go back, what was my strength is my weakness now, and I have no control over it.
That's crazy.
So when I do get standing ovations, in my mind, I'd be like, just sit down. Like, I appreciate it, but it's unwanted pressure for somebody to play me. So you could put any situation on a young team. Yep. If Isaiah Thomas comes in on the team, the guy they invest in is going to be looking over the shoulder just because.
Just because.
Until I'm telling him, fam, you don't even got to look over your shoulder.
Damn.
I'm here to help you.
Damn.
I'm not here to compete with you.
That's crazy.
In spots, I've had to do that because I could see the guy tensing up because of what he's seen probably and what he's heard about who I am.
And everywhere you've gone, even though it's a 10-day, it's national news.
It's national news. That's not wanted.
That's true.
If I go sign Joe Blow a 10-day, the world's not going to care.
No, happens
So
all the
if
time.
I play him or not, nobody cares. If I go sign me to a 10-day and you don't play and your best player is not playing well and he's a guard, what is the world gonna do? Put Isaiah in. What is the crowd gonna do? Put IT in.
And it happens. And it's been happening.
And I'm gonna take advantage of it. So you feel me? That like those are all things that are playing against me now. And it sucks. It is what it is. But I know what I bring to the table. If given a chance, I know what I bring to the table if you don't play me. I'm gonna help regardless, because that's who I am, that's what I bring, that's the alpha in me, that's the leader in me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not bitter that I don't play. I'm cool, because I'm a work. and that's gonna rub off on everybody on the team.
Yeah, and you guys from Seattle, just as a whole, just knowing you guys, I know Jamal, Zach, there's Nate. You guys just love being in the NBA.
Yes.
And you love and appreciate the game. There's a lot of guys that take that for granted, right?
For sure.
I really sense that appreciation for just being in that environment from you guys. I don't know if it's a Seattle thing, but just the way you guys were brought up, I really respect that. I want to talk about the Charlotte situation because I feel like that was a really good scenario.
Sure.
Charlotte's a smaller market, so it didn't make the noise it would. Because remember when you were in LA for the 10 days? Everything was magnified.
The whole world.
Always is. In Charlotte, I watch because I make sure to try to watch every game as much as I can. You were playing really good in the moments you got. You had good games. You were putting up. I remember. I don't know if it was the last game or the second last game where you had like 14 points in 4 minutes of the season. Was that the last game? Yeah. But more than anything, I saw the young guys embrace you.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball, guys like that were like, they really respect you because you've done what they want to do. How was that scenario? And, because I feel like you were coming off a really good scenario, man. Like you proved yourself. That was probably your best 10-day that we've seen you had. And I think you did your part.
No doubt. I mean, them young dudes, they were everything to me. Like I'm gonna be friends with them, homies with them forever. Like LaMelo's one of my closest friends. Obviously Terry Rozier was my rookie in Boston.
That's crazy.
I recruited Gordon to Boston. So like, I knew those guys.
Right.
I knew, especially Terry. Like we were locker partners, locker neighbors. We were locker neighbors in Charlotte too. The situation there was really good for me because it showed, I thought it showed the world that I don't have to be the man to be productive. Yeah. I came in, I didn't have no problems, which I've never had on any team. I accepted my role. Like coming in, they didn't say I was gonna play. I didn't even think I was gonna get in the game. I was just gonna do my part, whether I played or not, where I played or not. And then when I played, they trusted me.
Yeah.
The team embraced me. The team embraced me. All the players embraced me. I was the voice in the locker room. And they can tell you that. And that's just for me being who I am. And they accepted me, I accepted them. The respect was there.
Yeah.
So from the day I walked in, the respect was there because who I am and what they've heard.
Right.
And that's half the battle with young guys. If they don't respect you, they're not gonna run through a wall for you. So when I can talk to LaMelo when he's messing up and he comes to the bench and I can be as real as possible and he can accept that and he can understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. Yeah. Everybody that's on that bench can't do that. And everybody that's on that bench or in that locker room isn't getting the respect that I'm getting from your cornerstone player.
Right.
So that's how these young locker rooms are. Like if they respect you, they're gonna ride with you. If they don't, they're gonna beat around the bush and do their own thing, which not saying that's right or wrong. But in the NBA and in a professional setting, that's definitely wrong. But that's the culture of today's game. They weeded out the veterans for whatever reason.
Why though?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think because the vets can control them young guys and
they have an influence.
They have a greater influence than per se a coach.
It's crazy.
Or, people in the front office, which is backwards.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reason because you somewhat push the veterans out because they have that control. But little that like the veterans are the ones that
they could change a team.
Can change a team, can shape a young guy's career because the vets help me.
Even the teams that we've seen win the chip now are all powered by some veteran presence.
Come on. Everybody that wins the championship has.
Yeah. So we're looking at the Warriors. We're looking at the Raptors when they did it.
The Bucks.
You
can't name a championship team that's super young.
No. Or even a team that goes deep.
You can't.
There's that one team that always goes deep that's young.
Yeah.
Other than that,
every now and then.
Yeah.
It's hard. In the playoffs, you gotta have killers. You gotta have playmakers. You gotta have people who've seen it before.
Talk about that with me because you're one of the guys, and these are the guys that I have the utmost respect for because I talk about you guys all the time. When you get to the playoffs, everything changes. Everything changes. And you're a guy that levels up, always leveled up. Boston, we saw you do some monumental things, right? Nowadays, the regular season, my beef with it is it's so different from the playoffs. And it happened with you guys in the play-in in Charlotte. I saw you guys hit a wall.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, there it is. This is when my shit comes to life. All the things I say in the season, you see in the playoffs, guys hit a wall. What is this? What's going on?
Experience. That's all it is. The playoffs are 100% different than the regular season. The regular season is kind of like fool's gold.
Yeah.
Like you get in a rhythm. You play a team that night, you go to the next team. How much preparation can you get on that team? In the playoffs, you got to beat a team 4 times. You got to play 7 times possibly.
And they know everything.
So you're going to have notebooks of the scout. You're going to take away everybody's first and second option. You're going to know everything. So can you really hoop when they're taking away all your options?
Right. And now I want you to speak to the young guards, the Donovan Mitchells, the Trey Youngs, the Ja Morants, all these cats that are now in the position that you were in Boston. What were you doing in those moments? Because you got to East Finals. What were you doing as a 5'9" guard? You led a team to the East Finals. That's absurd. What were you doing in those moments? How much of it was IT just making his own decision?
It was a little bit of everything, not gonna lie. But my preparation is what made me succeed in those
Preparation
moments.
in the summer?
Summer, in season, film sessions. My preparation to the game of basketball is what made me succeed in those moments. Kobe taught me that. My preparation to the game of basketball made me succeed in those moments in every way possible. On top of, I got hoop game.
Yeah, you're a hooper.
I'm a hooper.
Yeah.
So when those tight moments and the world is watching, everybody can't embrace those moments. When I first got to the playoffs, I experienced that. I'm like, dang, why aren't guys making the shots they made in the playoff? I mean, in the regular seasons. These are open shots and these guys aren't making them.
That's 1 by 2 at the park on a double rim at that moment.
Come on, fam. It's pressure. The world's watching. It's not regular season where you're on local TV.
No.
The whole world's watching. You miss 3 in a row, you're thinking about it.
Damn.
In the playoffs that last year in 2017, the Wizards, they put 3 guys on me. I'm 5'9", killer. Come on, man.
I know.
Name somebody, to fast forward, to tell you a story, Kobe's story.
Yeah.
2018, I think, the summer, he invites players to come down to hit the Mamba Academy.
Right, yeah.
And he's talking about different things on the court, double teams, triple teams. He's explaining how to, break through those. Funniest thing, I'm like, Kobe, you're talking to guys that really haven't got triple teamed in real situations. He starts laughing. I'm like, so you could probably talk to a few of us.
Yeah.
Because there's levels to it. There's levels. So when you get in the playoffs, obviously you gotta be a killer. You gotta be able to have some type of hoop game to create. And you gotta adjust. They're trying to stop everything. So that's why you see the level of hoop game increase in some of the stars, and then some of the stars look like stars and don't look like superstars, which they're portrayed to be.
That's crazy. And you know right away, right? Who are some guys that you watch now that have that hoop game?
They have, obviously.
Let's talk about the point guards.
I mean, point guards, obviously Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, Ja Morant is a young one. Kyrie has the most hoop game.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, like obviously he's one that nobody talks about.
Right. But he can get busy.
He can get it done each and every night. And the only reason why I say Ja Morant, Trey Young's been to the playoffs and got some stuff done.
Yeah.
But everybody's game doesn't translate to the playoffs.
That's true.
Even last year, Trey Young had a rude awakening.
Yeah. Miami.
But I bet he thought about that every day this summer. Because he's never seen that before. He never seen when they're focused solely on you for 7 games and they're throwing 2 and 3 guys at you, being a small guard.
It's tough.
So when I break that down to people, they don't understand that either. Double and triple team, half the time I can't see.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not 6'7", 6'6", where I'm seeing over the double teams. So as a small guard, a Van Fleet, a Trey Young, how sharp does your mind have to be to figure that out on the fly?
Got to be a 12th degree black belt in
Come
basketball.
on, you
at
got
that
to be
point.
exceptional. You got to be one of the greats.
That's crazy.
One of the greats. So it's just levels to it. There's everybody says that, but there's levels to being successful in the playoffs.
What took you to that level, though? I know you said it's preparation.
I think studying the greats.
Yeah.
Kobe, Floyd Mayweather. I got to get a really good relationship with Tom Brady. Asking them real questions about everything. Like, how do you do it in the biggest moments? And it always comes back to preparation. I prepare for these moments. So even when 2017, when they're chanting MVP, I'm at the free throw line. I've already seen it in my head when I was a kid. Already seen it in my head when I'm in the gym by myself at the free throw line. So when it's happening, I'm really laughing in my head like, damn, this is crazy. But it's expected. It's expected. My preparation led to those moments. My preparation is gonna lead to those moments again. And I'm not saying to go average 30 and be the man. My preparation is gonna win a playoff game.
It's amazing. And I see you right now, you're not lying. You're locked in, disciplined as ever. Your preparation is very, Floyd-like. I think that's why these Kobes, they gravitated towards you, right?
Come on.
Because
Kobe ain't talking to nobody.
Right.
Floyd ain't like, when I was able to be in those moments and reach out to those, Allen Iverson, when he called me a killer, it took my mind frame, it took my mindset to a level that it took it to 30 points a game.
Right.
That was the person that took my shit to 30 points a game.
That's crazy.
So I thank him all the time, because when he said it, I didn't see nobody anymore. It don't matter if it's the superstars that everybody names. I didn't see anybody anymore.
I saw it.
Let that sink in.
I saw that.
You
shit
feel me?
happen.
So fast forward to now when I'm playing and I'm in Charlotte and I'm playing and I'm being successful. It's happening because my preparation, but my game is the same, but my mind is so much further than it was in 2017.
That's crazy.
So I'm just picking the game apart. I'm seeing it really before it happens. It's so slow.
Is this game easier now for you than
It's
it was?
way easier. And that's no disrespect to the players in it. The game is as easy as it's ever been in 2022, right now.
Wow.
And that's no disrespect to the talent. It's how the game is played.
Is it the spacing?
Spacing. It's open gym. It's 5-on-5. It's AAU nationals. And I'm saying this with the most respect for the best players in the world.
Yeah.
When the best players in the world are able to play one-on-one,
This is what happens.
it's unstoppable.
And that's what we're seeing.
That's all we're seeing.
You're seeing these guys get 40, 50.
Come on.
And as a student of the
And
game,
not to take away anything from them, because
Oh,
they're
no,
cold.
they're
Guys
insane.
are cold.
They're insane.
The skill level is amazing.
They're
It's just the way the game is played.
they're not being challenged the same way. I think students of the game, I think people that have watched traditionally know this. It's common knowledge. One thing with you, the thing that bothers me with what's happened though, when you were at the top, your peers were Steph, at your position, Steph, Dame, Kyrie, Russell Westbrook, and I want to say the fifth one would probably be Chris Paul or Kemba.
Yeah, Chris Paul for sure. And Kemba.
Outside of Kemba and yourself, all those other guys have gone through injuries, similar to you. They're still at that spot.
Yeah.
They were drafted to that situation. They were valued as an investment for that franchise. You're looking at this, and I'm seeing Dame still at the top of his game. Steph just won a chip. They keep saying age, they keep saying this and that. I feel like you're still on that level. You just don't have that usage. How frustrating is that watching that though? And knowing that.
I mean, it's frustrating because I know it. So that's the most frustrating part. I'm not frustrated and I'm not in the moments no more. I'm just frustrated because I can still do that. The only thing about that is like, I mean, it is a little frustrating because it only comes back to not getting another chance because I'm 5'9".
Right.
At the end of the day, that's all it is. Because if I was 6'1", they would give me every chance to fail.
Yeah.
But I'm 5'9", you don't, that's what happens when you're 5'9". You don't
have that room for error.
You don't. So even when I'm working out, 10 or 11, 10 out of 12, I don't have room to miss.
Yeah, see.
I don't have room to miss no open shots.
Right.
I don't have room for a guy to shoot a fadeaway on me from 17 feet and he make it.
Yeah.
And they say I'm a defensive liability. But when he makes it over a 6'5" guy, it's like, oh, good shot.
Right. So the defensive liability thing, because we hear that, I see the trolls say it, that we don't care about the casuals. But I'm saying, if in fact that is what GMs are thinking, I'm not on the inside like that. If in fact that is what they're thinking, where it's like, oh, he's a great scorer, he could be a spark, but he's a defensive liability because he's 5'9". What do you say to that? Because I've never seen you out on the court just getting run down. That's the crazy thing.
First off, I can't grow. Like, I'm not gonna get no taller. I've been the same height my whole career.
Right.
That's just the negatives of being 5'9".
Yeah.
Nobody blows by me. All they do is shoot over me.
Right.
My whole career, if anybody ever would have asked a coach or a teammate on my team, I'm pretty sure they would never say I'm a liability.
Because I've seen you slide with guys.
I'm just saying, like, nobody's taking advantage of me in my career.
Yeah.
Yes, people scored on me. I mean, who doesn't score? But when you're 5'9", you're not given the same leash as somebody that's 6'2".
Right.
And that's just what it is. That's in everything that has to do with basketball. It's not a small person's game. Well, they say it's not. So the defensive liability is more frustrating than anything. Because even in Charlotte, you can watch film. There was not one game that I played that I was a defensive liability going against anybody.
Right. And that's what I don't know what the defensive stats say, but I watch and I'm like, this guy's bumping with guys. He's sliding in front of guys. No one's taking you to the post.
And to go back to what you said about the age is only for some people. The age is only for some people because the best players are around my age.
Yeah.
And winning championships.
Right. MVP candidates still.
So that's only said for certain people. The injury thing is only made for certain people. Because I see guys get injured all the time, knock on wood. I see guys fighting to get back and getting every chance in the book.
Yeah.
Fam, I was on one leg for 3 years and fighting through that.
And that's
one
still
leg and still playing okay.
Yeah.
Like, on some real shit, still playing okay on one leg against the best players in the world
crazy.
at 5'9".
That's just being a hooper, though.
That's just being a hooper and playing with my mind. I couldn't play physically. I wasn't there. But to answer your question about that, it's frustrating to see guys get injured and get chances after chance, and I didn't. It's frustrating to see even the defensive players getting 40 dropped on their head, and they're not defensive liabilities.
They're not getting penalized for it.
It is frustrating, but I mean, when has life been fair? It's never has. So my whole career, I've maneuvered around those things. And now that I'm at a standstill trying to fight back in, it's harder than ever, but it was harder than ever to get drafted. I got lucky to get drafted the last pick.
Yeah.
No matter how good I was doing in college, no matter how good I did in the NBA, nobody that averaged 30 points a game is on 10 days.
No.
And that's being completely honest.
No.
And you know why? Like even D Rose. D Rose had how many injuries he had, and that's my dude. That's one of my closest friends. But his coach has done what he's supposed to do.
Right.
Thibodeau has rolled with D Rose because D Rose put him on.
Facts.
At his best times.
Facts.
So every chance Thibodeau got to put him on, who is he gonna call? I'm gonna call Derrick Rose because he can still hoop, and I'm gonna still give him a chance.
And Derrick Rose is in the position that you're in right now in a way because I remember 2018. You remember his triumph was when he had the 50-point game.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I remember just constantly telling people it's a situation. It's all about usage. And you remember when he got it. Do you have a Tom Thibodeau in the league?
I don't, or I'd be in there.
Because that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. I mean, me being who I am right now,
Yeah.
I just need a chance, like a real chance.
Yeah, not
and
a
I'm
10
not
day.
and I'm not asking to go a chance for me to go average 30.
The final real chance right now for Isaiah Thomas in 2022, 2023. I'm talking about your role. I'm talking about your setting. I'm not saying specific minutes, but I'm saying in terms of they bring you in, it's not a 10-day. Or it's a 10-day and you earn yourself back. What's the real chance look like now? What's the new Isaiah Thomas? What's Isaiah Thomas'
Give me a role. Give me a role off the bench that I can play both halves. And you said don't put a number on it. Give me 18 minutes. I'll give you 14 and 4 and change the game when I come in.
And potentially close the game for you.
Don't give me 25 minutes. The game is that easy. Where I can already tell you I'm gonna get 18 to 20 if I get that minutes. Because where my mind is in the game.
But we've seen you do that. On
That's
these
what
10
I'm
days.
saying.
We've
But
seen you do it.
again, what pressure does it put? If you don't give me that role off the bench, say if you give me the 6-man role and that's my role, there's no pressure. I'm the 6th man. I'm not taking nobody's spot.
And I see that now because I think that's the role for you. But I'm looking at teams in the league. I look at teams like the Suns, who I think could use a guy like you. I look at teams like, to this moment, the Lakers, that could continuously bring you back. I see teams like the Raptors, teams that are going to go into a playoff series, and they don't have that extra outside of a Devin Booker. Where do you, when you look at you watching the game, I know you watch the game, do you see specific situations that you like?
I mean, not to, name no teams, but I see a lot.
Yeah.
I see where I can fit in and help. And I don't have to be the man. Like, I'm not even looking for that no more. I want an NBA jersey, fam. I'll do the rest.
And now your roles change to more in this league, in this new league, catch and shoot.
And that's fine.
And one thing I've seen you, though, is you've become a better spot-up shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You've become more of a sniper over these years. It's different being a scorer than it is being a straight-up shooter. From there, you open up your game, right? What's your preparation like for that now every day? Take us through that. Because this is you're playing a different game now.
No doubt. So, I mean, my preparation really, to be honest, it's the same because I try to work on everything. Just so if I'm put in position, get a call, somebody get hurt, and I got to play 25 minutes.
You're ready.
I can give you everything that I got. I can give you everything that you used to see.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm working on spot shots, catch and shoot, spacing. So if you give me 10 minutes, I can give you 8. I can make a difference. I can hit shots. I can be a spacer. I can do a lot, really. And it's not all about what I can do, but it's like I'm preparing for all those moments. So when you see me in Charlotte, when you see me the first game against the Lakers, that was just preparation for those moments. It's not like I'm a rookie and I'm seeing guys I've never seen before. That's scary.
Yeah. So it feels easy out there?
And not to sound cocky or how the game is played, me and Jamal talk about this all the time. The game is easy because you don't have to think the game no more. It's so much spacing, it's one-on-one.
Yeah, you're an open gym.
So then if I do have to think the game now, I'm dissecting it. I'm playing against second string guys, no disrespect, that probably fear me because of what they've seen.
Yeah.
I'm playing against guys where my mental is so much further than theirs.
You've seen so much.
I'm just picking the game apart.
Yeah.
Because of what I've been through, because of the experience I have, and because my body and my skill is still 2017. My mind is way further. So now I don't have to give you 30. I'm just picking you guys apart. I'm just getting to the lane easy.
And the opportunity is just 75% less, but you figure it out, right?
But I'm figuring it out.
Looking at these next few years, I feel like the right role for you is that 6th man, closing your career out that way.
For sure.
Would you explore going anywhere else overseas?
Not right now.
Because there's people that say that.
Not right now. Everybody hits me. Why don't you go overseas?
Right.
That's just, I got kids. I'm not in position right now that I want to do that.
Right.
Like my ultimate goal is to play in the NBA. My ultimate goal has always been to play in the NBA. And I'm gonna break something down to you again. This is just what I believe from being a student of the game, a fan of the game, and being in the game. If I go overseas, my NBA career is done.
From a business standpoint, you're now out of the system.
For sure.
At 5'9"?
At 5'9". So I can't break that down the most. They don't understand that. So if I go overseas, which overseas is amazing. Yeah. You get paid well. There's great players overseas. But if I choose to go overseas, my NBA career is done. I'm not at that point right now. I want 5 more years in the NBA. I want to play 16 years in the NBA to be the smallest guy to ever play that long. Muggsy Bogues played 14.
Yeah,
I'm beating that for sure.
that's amazing.
And that's my mindset. Obviously, I can go overseas and I can hoop and I can
Put up 40. You've done it in the G League.
come on, and I can go to the G League. But like a guy in my position, those opportunities usually be a kind of a lose-lose for me to get back in the NBA. Because if I don't go score 50 in the G League, what they gonna say? I lost a step. If I go score 25, it's like, dang, he can't score 40 in the G League.
So you have no choice but to go get 45.
Come on. That's just me because I'm 5'9", and people don't understand what being 5'9" means. So if I can't be just okay, I gotta be special in every moment that I'm out there.
And you're living up to the MVP candidate.
Come on.
Yeah.
So what people think of when they see me or my name comes up is the 30 points a game.
Yeah.
So I have no room for error. And that's the lose-lose situation I'm in from the outside looking in.
You've had a hell of a career, though. All-star, All-NBA. I got a question that I never got a chance to ask the other greats this. What stands out more? Is it the nights that you win at, a Steph and a Dame and a Kyrie, and it was like a war? Or is it the accomplishments that stand out? Or is it the numbers that stand out? Or is it like the Kobe co-signing you in those types of situations?
I think it's the respect from my peers.
That's the one?
That's the one.
Yeah?
Like obviously the Kobe stuff, Allen Iverson, I never dreamed as a kid that I would even be able to communicate with those guys, let alone have real friendships where I can hit them at any time for anything. But the respect, like any room that I walk in, whether it be LeBron James, it don't matter. It's gonna be all love, and they know how I'm coming. It don't matter who it is. When I see Michael Jordan, he shows real love to me.
Because he was in that booth when you came in and put up 35.
And when I was seeing him, like, man, slow down. Like that's Michael Jordan saying that. That's Kobe Bryant telling me, you're a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like that means more to me than anything. The accomplishments is dope. Like those were dreams of mine. All NBA, All-Star, getting drafted, battling with the greats to where they like, man, we gotta stop him.
Yeah.
Those are amazing moments in my life, in my career that I would never take for granted. But the respect from your peers, come on, man, that goes, because they know.
Right.
When you going up the Dames, the Steph Currys, so you saying the battles between those are always amazing.
Right.
But they walking out just like I'm walking out.
Right.
Damn, that was a tough one.
Yep.
You feel me? Like that means more to me than anything. That means more to me than anything. Or when I come back in the league, when I be coming back, like last year, everybody's just like, finally, you're back in. You deserve, like, that makes this easier, coming in the gym on my own and grinding while I'm at 7 o'clock watching these games frustrated.
How is that, right? Like one day you're sitting at home in Seattle, the next week you could be in a game. Sure. What's that dynamic like now?
We just, it's different, but it's like.
Do you still get nervous every time you get that call again and it's time to step on that court? Or is it like?
Not necessarily nervous, but it's a weird excitement. It's like, okay.
It's crazy.
Because I got to prove.
Yeah.
I still got to prove. Like this 11 years in, like when I play this year, it'll be 12 years. And I'm still having to prove. Name one person that got to prove.
Right.
There ain't no 5'9" dude in there.
No.
So everybody under 6 feet, 5'11", you got to prove every year, which isn't fair, but that's just life. And that's just what it's been in my career, which I'm fine with. But it's like I said just a little bit ago, I got to be perfect every time.
But you're down to do it, and I respect that about you. And, you know, as I wrap this up, I got some quick little questions. Like 5 or 6 of them. Because we know you're ready. We know when that call comes and you do get that opportunity, you're going to give it your all. The best player you've played against. Best guard you've played against. I'll put you at your position.
Best point guard I played against?
Or you could just give me 2.
I'm going to give you 2, Kyrie and Steph.
Yeah.
Best basketball players I played against at that position.
Just the skill?
The skill, the shot making, the ability to do anything.
Can you relate to them in their preparation in that? Can you see it? Can you see what makes them who they are? How much of that is a gift that they have that can't be
I mean,
taught?
half of it is a gift. I mean, all of us got a gift, but it's something that they do. I don't know them like to where I'm asking them, but it has to be their preparation. It has to be their confidence, how they believe in themselves. Like, the only way you're doing the shit Kyrie's doing in a game is if you're like a genius, if your mind is
Something
like,
else.
because you could just tell he's thinking about what he's trying to do
Right.
to you. Jamal always says that, how can you guard something that the guy doing it doesn't even know what he's about to do?
Yeah.
And then Steph Curry, we just never seen nothing like him.
Right.
So we never seen shot making from that far with the handle and with just the freedom he plays with. Like
The joy he plays with.
the joy, like it makes you smile for sure.
Most underrated guy you've seen in your run, 11-year run so far, where you look and you're like, yo, he's so cold, but no one knows.
Are we talking about guards still?
Nah, you could talk about anyone at this one.
I'm gonna keep it with guards because I can't think that.
Okay, let's
I'm
go
gonna say
guards.
Drew Holiday and Mike Conley for me.
Yeah.
Mike Conley, I played against Mike Conley in 2006, ABCD camp.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my dad, I'm like, that's the best guard I've ever played against. Wow. Just because he goes both ways, he goes his own pace, he's a floor general, floater, left, right. He really didn't have no weaknesses. Fast forward to when he got paid the 150 or whatever. I think him getting paid that put a light on him to where people are like, he's overrated. Like, nah, ask anybody in the league, like, he's a tough cover.
Yeah.
And I think that's a name that most people won't say, but for me,
That is a name that most people won't say.
he's always been a tough cover for me. Drew Holiday's been another one, and I've known the Holiday since I've been young. Drew is tough.
He won him that chip in
Come
2021.
on. He's gonna sit down on the defensive end, and he's not gonna do anything he don't wanna do on the other end. And if he really had his own team, he's averaging 25 and 24 and 10, 24 and 9.
I'm looking at, you've seen the Dirks, the Duncans, the Nash, Kobe. Nah, you didn't play against
Yeah, I
him.
didn't.
Now the Durants and the LeBrons and the Currys. Who's the one guy where you just saw it and you were like, he's the best player I've ever seen?
Kobe.
Kobe?
You just feared him right when you stepped on the court. Like his energy was for you to fear. I've never seen somebody offensively. Obviously, I mean, KD is offensively gifted. Kyrie.
Tell me the time frame that it was with Kobe, though.
I mean, right when I got in the league.
2011.
Because 2011,
He was still at his
2010,
peak. They won.
they won.
was still-
2011, Dallas won.
I still think he was the best player in the league until 2013.
For sure. When I seen him, and every move was just everything he did was so strategic and just, I'd never seen somebody that sharp.
Can you imagine his preparation?
I can, and it was insane. But I've never seen somebody that sharp. And then when I got to build a friendship with him and hear him talk about the game, it was on a level that I've never heard before. Nobody come close.
We know this shit. Why is this not universally recognized among media nowadays and casual fans?
I think the popularity contest, like obviously, whoever they say is in front of him, I mean, the name might be bigger.
More personal.
But like what it goes back to, peers.
Yeah,
What are most peers gonna say?
right. They're all gonna say Kobe.
They're all gonna say, except this generation, which I get, because LeBron is who they worship, who they come up with, and LeBron is cold.
In a
But
different galaxy himself.
Kobe, I can only imagine how Jordan was back then.
Right.
Because Kobe was just a little bit sharper than
I say this, a little bit more fluid, a little bit sharper.
In
with
everything
every
that he
movement,
did.
in every movement, and an extension of Jordan.
And the thing that I say Jordan's always number one because Kobe had to follow somebody.
Jordan was the blueprint.
But Kobe, if you want to follow somebody and follow everything and make it better,
Man,
he did that with the best player ever.
think about that.
So how is he not the best player ever?
That's facts.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
That's facts. That's facts.
What are we talking about?
So now, Isaiah Thomas, 2022. You're a family man. Your kids are grown. The world just moves. It feels like a blur, right? These past 5 years.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself 2 or 3 years from now?
on the NBA roster, 2 to 3 years from now, knowing that the end is near, but still loving the game, still trying to find ways to get better.
Will you continue to prepare every day no matter what?
For sure. And like I told you, until I stop loving it, I'll stop. I was down for 3 years. So I'm 33 right now. I'm really 30. My body's 30.
Yeah.
I didn't do no pounding for 3 years, really.
Right.
My body is 30 years old. My mind is 33. And my mind is 33 of a MVP candidate.
That's amazing.
So let that sink in. I'm steps in front of anybody in my position.
And I'm going to wrap it on that because this might be the best episode I've ever done.
Come on, man. It don't get no realer than that.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate you.
You.
All love.